Big U, because they're afraid of him. The people he ran into on the street were petrified of him.
Big U isn't the type of name you casually throw around in the streets. His reputation is solid. People say he's been tied to bodies, extortion, and other serious moves, so most rappers know to tread carefully when his name comes up. But not 50 Cent.
I don't ever want a problem. But when they say they want a problem, I say no problem.
While most stay quiet, 50 stands tall. No fear, no hesitation. So what makes him so confident? What's the real story behind his calm in the face of one of LA's most feared figures? Let's break it down. Why 50 Cent isn't scared of Big U. The main documented interaction between 50 Cent and Big U is a public warning from Big U to 50 about security concerns. This warning came during an interview where Big U was speaking about rappers in general. In the interview, he stressed the importance of checking in when landing in cities like Los Angeles, Chicago, or Atlanta, suggesting that high-profile artists need to move smart to avoid ending up in a bad situation.
Big U, because they're afraid of him. The people he ran into on the street were petrified of him.
I don't ever want a problem. But when they say they want a problem, I say no problem.
In this interview, Big U is essentially laying down street protocol like it's the 10 Commandments, noting that even he, a major figure in Los Angeles with serious stripes, checks in when visiting other territories like Chicago and Atlanta. He frames this practice not just as a sign of respect, but as a practical safety measure. The fact that Big U was speaking to all rappers in general, including 50 Cent, raises a key question. Why would Big U feel the need to put them, especially 50 Cent, on notice? There are several possible explanations for this situation. First, 50 Cent's success and global reach may have put him in a category of artists Big U figured might not feel obligated to check in when visiting places like Los Angeles. 50 Cent had evolved from a street-oriented rapper to a global entertainment mogul with massive wealth, potentially creating distance between himself and certain street customs. Big U's warning could be seen as a reminder that no matter how big you get, these protocols still apply in certain territories. You might be rich, but you're not bulletproof. Second, 50 Cent has a history of high-profile beefs with various artists, including Ja Rule, Rick Ross, and Diddy, which have sometimes spilled beyond music and into real-world confrontations where crews and street figures get involved. His group, G-Unit, was part of a scuffle at the 2012 BET Hip Hop Awards in Atlanta, where a member of Rick Ross's Maybach music group, Gunplay, was allegedly jumped by 5 men and had his chain snatched. Days later, 50 Cent was spotted wearing that same chain at a bowling alley in Washington, D.C., suggesting his involvement in the situation. This history of confrontations might have made Big U concerned. Third, as an OG deeply embedded in Los Angeles street culture, Big U might have been aware of potential threats to 50 Cent and other major artists in the area. His warning could have genuinely come from a place of concern, recognizing the real dangers even established artists face in environments where shooters are always looking to make a name for themselves. By advising rappers to check in, Big U might have been offering a way to navigate these dangers without incident. It's worth noting there's no documented response from 50 Cent to this warning, not a word. The lack of a public reaction could mean several things. 50 Cent might not have considered the warning significant enough to address, he might have handled it privately, or he simply chose to ignore it, confident in his own approach to security and safety. Speaking of security, 50 Cent's personal protection is on another level, comprehensive like Fort Knox on wheels, reflecting both his wealth and the potential threats he faces as a high-profile figure with a complicated past. Reports suggest that 50 spends heavily on security, with an annual budget of about $1.6 million, including $20,000 per week just for security at his Connecticut mansion. This budget covers advanced surveillance systems and a professional security team that includes elite personnel such as former Navy SEALs. Music industry figure Wack 100 has even described 50's security detail as Navy SEAL-type characters who are armed and ready for anything. During a confrontation at the SLS Hotel in Los Angeles, 50 Cent reportedly had 8 Navy SEALs on standby, showing the serious firepower of his protection team. This level of security makes it clear that 50 Cent takes potential threats as seriously as a heart attack and is willing to invest heavily in his personal safety rather than relying on street alliances. Beyond the composition of his team, 50 Cent's approach to protection follows the philosophy of stay ready so you don't have to get ready, summed up in his own words, don't get ready, you gotta be ready. His Connecticut estate is equipped with a comprehensive network of cameras that provide real-time monitoring and recorded footage, serving both as a deterrent to intruders and as legal protection against false claims. 50 is playing chess while others are playing checkers. In public settings, his security measures are just as meticulous. During a 2024 photo shoot with The Hollywood Reporter, he arrived with 4 security guards, and the venue was locked down with doors secured and window shades pulled to maximize privacy. This approach minimizes exposure to threats and maintains control over the environment, reflecting his strategic mindset toward personal safety. He's not taking any chances, period. The effectiveness of his security team has been proven many times. During his 2023 The Final Lap tour, they quickly stopped a fan from rushing the stage at a Michigan concert before the situation even escalated. More dramatically, during his beef with The Game, a confrontation outside Hot 97 radio station in New York escalated into a shootout involving his security team. The venue went into lockdown, proving his crew was ready to act when necessary. Afterward, music executive Jimmy Iovine helped arrange a temporary peace treaty, though the beef continued to simmer like a pot of grandmother's gumbo. This robust security setup shows that 50 Cent's personal safety does not depend on checking in with local figures like Big U. Instead, he has built his own protective infrastructure, giving him independence that many other artists can't match. This self-sufficiency might explain why he appeared unfazed by Big U's warning, essentially saying, "I'm good on my own, but thanks for looking out." On top of that, 50 Cent's business ventures and global influence have taken him far beyond street dynamics. As the creator of hit TV shows like Power and BMF that reach millions, he operates in arenas where street credibility carries less weight. His expansion into mainstream entertainment acts as a shield from threats that might concern artists more deeply rooted in street culture. The geographic separation between 50 Cent, primarily associated with New York, and Big U, centered in Los Angeles, may also contribute to the lack of direct conflict or concern. Their spheres of operation don't overlap significantly, reducing the likelihood of territorial disputes or direct competition. This distance might allow 50 Cent to view Big U's warning as less immediately relevant to his circumstances. Particularly given his robust security measures, it's like they're playing in different leagues altogether. Furthermore, 50 Cent's public persona has been carefully crafted to project fearlessness and dominance. Throughout his career, he has engaged in high-profile beefs with numerous artists, often taking the offensive rather than appearing defensive. This approach to conflict, characterized by confidence and aggression rather than caution, aligns with his brand and may make publicly acknowledging concerns about figures like Big U inconsistent with the image he has cultivated. 50 has never been the type to look scared. That's not his style. To really understand why these two men with heavyweight reputations are coming up so much in rap conversations, we need to break down who they are and the completely different worlds they come from. This isn't just about two individuals flexing power. It's about how influence moves differently, how respect is earned in the streets, and how street credibility operates in the culture, shaping how these players from opposite coasts interact. 50 Cent came up in the harsh streets of South Jamaica, Queens, pushing weight by the age of 12. As a kid, he was already on the corners serving fiends, a path that eventually had him catching cases like the common cold. Records show that at 19, 50 Cent was charged for selling to an undercover, which landed him in boot camp instead of prison. This early encounter with law enforcement was just the beginning of his complicated dance with danger and violence in the streets. What truly stamped his legend status was surviving a hit that would have killed almost anyone. On May 24, 2000, outside his grandmother's home in Queens, 50 Cent was shot 9 times in a drive-by. He suffered broken legs, injuries to his hands, a shot to the face, and multiple wounds to the chest. The attack was allegedly ordered by drug kingpin Kenneth Supreme McGriff over a track where 50 exposed Supreme's operation. He spent 13 days in the hospital recovering. The shooter, Daryl Homo Baum, was killed 3 weeks later, and that wasn't even his only brush with death that year. Just a few months earlier, on March 24, 2000, he was stabbed in the back outside the Hit Factory studio in New York during a scuffle connected to his beef with J. Rule and Murder Inc. Murder Inc.'s rapper Black Child later admitted to the stabbing, claiming it was self-defense because he thought someone was armed. These back-to-back near-death experiences would have driven most people away from the streets, but for 50, they only elevated his legend. He became a figure in rap who seemed untouchable, surviving situations that should have ended him. He transformed these stories into powerful verses, especially on tracks like Many Men and 9 Shots, where he vividly rapped about his survival. These events didn't just give him lyrical material, they reshaped how he operated. Having stared death in the face multiple times and walked away, 50 built an unshakable reputation for fearlessness. This attitude became the foundation of his career and his brand. His story isn't only about dodging bullets, it's about rising to the very top from the most dangerous of beginnings. After his recovery, he linked up with Eminem and Dr. Dre, dropping his classic Get Rich or Die Trying in 2003. The album did insane numbers like a PlayStation 5 on release day, catapulting him into superstar status. He quickly flipped that fame into multiple hustles: G-Unit Records, a clothing line, and eventually TV productions like Power and BMF. 50 evolved from a corner boy into a global brand brand, showing a level of business smarts that made many of his peers look small-time in comparison. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, Eugene "Big U" Henley was building his own legacy and influence in the streets of Los Angeles as a shot caller for the Rollin' 60s Crips, one of LA's most notorious sets. Big U commanded serious respect throughout South Central. His story also includes a lengthy prison sentence. He served 13 years before transitioning into the music industry. After his release, Big U leveraged his street reputation to become a music executive and producer, managing artists like Kurupt and, most notably, the late, great Nipsey Hussle. His influence extended far beyond artist management. He executive produced FX's documentary series Hip Hop Uncovered, which shined a light on behind-the-scenes power players in hip-hop. In the series, Big U shared war stories from his life, including starting a riot at a Run DMC concert in Long Beach and being the real-life inspiration for the character Doughboy in John Singleton's classic Boys in the Hood. His connections with heavyweights like Snoop Dogg, T.I., and Wiz Khalifa, who called him a straight-up godfather of rap, further cemented his status as a made man in the industry. Beyond entertainment, Big U founded Developing Options, a nonprofit aimed at reducing gang violence in Los Angeles and guiding young people toward college instead of the streets. The organization reportedly helped more than 150 young people get into higher education, showing Big U's efforts to transform his image from gang leader to community advocate, pushing kids away from the block and toward a better future. But Big U's reputation took a major hit in March 2025, when the feds hit him and 18 other alleged members and associates of the Rollin' 60s neighborhood Crips with a massive stack of charges. The 47-count indictment accused them of running a mafia-like criminal enterprise known as the Big U Enterprise. The charges against Henley were enough to sink a battleship: racketeering, murder, extortion, fraud, and human trafficking, painting a stark contrast to his public image as a reformed OG and community leader. Specifically, Big U was accused of greenlighting the murder of an aspiring rapper signed to his company, Unique Music, in 2021. The killing allegedly happened over a diss track recorded by the rapper, with the body later dumped in a ditch off Interstate 15 in the Nevada desert, straight out of The Sopranos. He was also charged with orchestrating the robbery of an unlicensed LA dispensary that had stopped paying him protection money, as well as running scams on companies, donors, and athletes by using his charities as fronts to funnel money into personal accounts. Big U turned himself in and made his first appearance in federal court on March 20th, 2025. On April 9th, 2025, he pleaded not guilty to all charges during his arraignment in downtown Los Angeles. His trial is scheduled to begin on May 20th, 2025, and if convicted, Henley faces life in prison with no parole. Despite these serious allegations, charges that would have most men shaking, Big U has maintained significant influence in the hip-hop world, especially in Los Angeles. His word still carries weight. Big U still carries mad weight, and his opinions on industry matters, especially street politics and artist safety, are treated like gospel. This brings us to where these two power players' paths cross, the practice known as checking in. In hip-hop culture, especially for artists with street ties, checking in means letting local shot callers know when you're touching down in their city or territory. This tradition has deep roots in gang culture and territorial respect, often seen as essential for both survival and showing proper respect to local power structures.